Hello, all you
Right, I
cool.
should.
Wait. Yeah. So I didn't warn innovation that we're gonna start going live. Uh, Hello, all you cool orcs and goblins. This is Hugh the Lizard, and I'm joined by Innovation to bring you
Hey,
your week 2 recap.
hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah. Howdy, Andy. Glad you could join us. I think this was a little early for most people, but I have a game
It's
later.
an odd, it's an odd timing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Bit 4 o'clock.
Um,
It's 4 o'clock your time, right? What time is it now in the UK?
it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little awkward, but uh, better sometime than no time. Uh,
So I actually have set it up properly now so that I can read Twitch chat. So
oh, good.
you're not the only one stuck with it anymore.
And I can hear you more clearly than the last couple times, so that's good too.
Yeah, I went and sorted all that out. So we should be a lot better off. Thanks a lot to Rob Top as well for helping me out with that.
Yeah, Rob's been helpful for this. He's been doing this a little longer than both of us, so it's kind of
This is true.
great to have him in the division as a resource. So I only watched one other game, and I actually forgot to grab my notebook in which I took notes about that game. So I'm going to be kind of talking on my ass about that. But then there was the
I wa-
one game that I
I
streamed.
watched I did watch the Drunk Mystics stream, so we have got that as well.
Okay, great. Uh, so this should be a relatively short one. In theory, we won't have much to say. So in theory, it won't be too long. Oh, great, Andy. Thanks for the sound check. Yeah, so let's
And
just
nice to have you here, Andy, as well.
yeah. Uh since Andy's here, by coincidence, we'll talk about his game first. And this is the one you said that you watched.
Yeah. Right. There's two massive things about this game, right? First is the Chorf spread themselves out and then got picked off by the mass mighty blow of the ogres. But the mighty blow of the ogres did fire early, did fire often, and if it was like it, the Chorf AV didn't really hold up, but it was one of those games where he didn't help himself out like by basing up so much and giving away free hits with that much mighty blow hanging around. But equally, like his armor didn't hold as well as it should either. So it kind of doubled down on like a little bit of misplay maybe. And he found himself in a massive problem early on. The ogres were fantastic in the first half and not rolling 1 in 9s. But yeah, he done really well just to lose 1-0, to be honest. Like, yeah, it could have been easily 2-0.
Yes, 7 removals. Um Chorf suffering 7 removals is pretty crippling for them. Especially since
The,
I could see
uh,
like 2 of those casualties. Well, one's a blocker and one is a bull centaur.
the casualties early on against the blockers just it really took their toll.
He did, I see, take out 2 ogres, so he did. It does look like he got a little bit of his own back.
I didn't get to watch most of the second half. I kind of watched the whole first half and kind of seen from that where we were kind of heading. And like he made like I said, he made some mistakes early on by basing up, but it kind of forces extra dice out of Andy. So I kind of understood the reasoning behind it. I just it's not this is the drawback, right? if you base up, sometimes you roll your AV more times than what you want to, and sometimes you're just unlucky early on, and it really snowballed for him.
Yeah, it's a gamble, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we talked last week about how Chorfs do better when they're not so spread out, especially against a team that has a lot of strength five. It's like you're gonna be pretty much everywhere on the field. You're gonna be weaker than the
yeah.
ogres, so you keeping together. And the ogres aren't fast. Like the ogres aren't that much faster than the Chorfs themselves, so keeping together and then kind of moving with the ogres makes a certain amount of sense. I do like that Dan Nightingale got the level, the ball carrying ogre. So we shall see what he got. Oh, and we're actually missing in terms of damage, we're actually missing an ogre next game, uh, which is one of the only ogres with guard. So that's gonna be ogre's tough enough as it is, but that's gonna be an extra handicap. And we got Jugs.
2 seconds.
Oh, so the that's interesting, Andy. That the MNG wasn't from the Chorus, but from Rock. It sounds like it was pretty late in the game too, so it's one of those rocks that you kind of hate because it doesn't make your opponent feel any better because it's too late in the game for them to really help them win the game. But sucks a lot for Andy because he's gonna have to go into
I
the
just
next
better
game
help
without
this
it.
shopping.
Pardon? Yeah. So Jugs is, yeah. I don't know what else you could give him really. Like Jugs is great because he can blitz without risking the both down. Uh, in terms of building, the ogre has a ball carrier. I don't think you had a lot of options. Oh, he said he's helping with shopping. Okay, well, I'll just keep going until he gets back in. Um, but I think Jugs actually makes a lot of sense here because it's you're one ogre that can sort of dodge out. So if you need to dodge out and blitz, this is the ogre to do it with. And then you can kind of build the guard stand firm up on the other ogres, and you have this one has the designated blitzer. Yeah, I think Jugs is a fair bet. I'm not. Yeah, I can't really think of a better idea. One of the big weaknesses with ogres is how limited they are with their skill sets. You really need a doubles or several doubles to make the team strong. And as for the Chorfs, they did not get any levels. Did get a few SPPs in the turn. Not too bad. That's sick. They're coming out of the game with 11 SPPs. Oh, wait, they did get a level for Mangle. They got a perm on a blocker. It'll be interesting to learn if no, Spoon. I'm sorry, but you are still gonna have to sit here and listen to me berate you for. I've set aside half an hour specifically of just me berating you for that game. Uh, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if you keep this blocker or not. Um, I don't know how much money he has, and it has 2 SPP, which is not nothing when you're really trying to develop the team. But if you're really trying to develop the team, do you really want to carry movement 3 blocker? Like if he had skills, I'd say for sure keep him, but without any skills, kind of lean towards
Yo,
not keeping him. Hey,
Battleforged Battle Masters.
yeah, would you keep the movement busted rookie blocker?
No.
No. Yeah, like movement bust is not the worst thing in the world, but I, yeah, it's just you
Just
start
fire.
stealing. He's the one that you would roll the doubles with the claw, and you'll start feeling really bad because the pylon will kind of suck even more. Yeah, yeah, just get rid of him as soon as you have the cash. Which between this
If
game
you
and
fire
next
the
game,
move first,
well, he won. He got 30,000 winning, so
you rolled
uh,
a 3.
and
It's
he's
not that bad.
sitting on 60K, so he can't quite afford to replace him yet. We have the uh, dirty player block combination for his level up.
Um, the rookie didn't steal MVP or anything, did it?
No, the dirty player stole the MVP and got the level.
Okay.
So block's not terrible. I just really prefer Russell on dirty player. Like this is a block heavy team, so it's not like having an extra block really adds a whole lot of it. Like there are situations where you'd be hitting with a hobgoblin, but typically you're not basing with hobgoblins anyway. And Russell would give you two different advantages. One would be um, if you're up against a ball carrier that has block, then Mangle can be the sacker and just increase his chance to bring the ball carrier down. Second, if he gets hit by someone with block, he can bring that player down and next turn stand up and kick him in the teeth. That said, block's not the worst skill in the world to have by any means.
I like wrestle DP, but I understand wanting block on him. Your one concern about that would be like he's AV7. Like block's gonna make him take more hits, and I don't necessarily think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying. Like you're you're kind of actively avoiding taking hits on the hobgoblins, right? You,
Yeah.
like blockers are literally there to block those hits on the hobgoblins. Okay.
Well, shall we
Anyway,
go to game 2?
um, nice to see. Always nice to see ogres win. So that's great.
Yeah. Oh, interesting fact. He had a high kick and decided to put it on a nobbler. So I thought that was interesting. I thought he'd go with the Agi ogre.
Yeah, that's what I would have. That is interesting. I guess the thinking. Well, he did score with the ogre. I was about to say that maybe the thinking is against a team like Chorfs, you want to make sure you have as much muscle as you
Kind
can
of bully
muster.
them.
Yeah, but then he ended up scoring with him anyway. Oh,
Oh, was
Andy
it a
says there's
quick
a quick
snap?
snap. Okay, well
I
then,
thought it was a high kick. I forgot.
yeah.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that you put a nobbler on it or whatever. If it was a high kick, would you have put the Agi ogre on it? Hey Rob, how
Hey,
you
Rob.
doing?
Um, so let's move on to the way of the water and the jumping giants, which was a tied game. The fans of the way of the waters were angered by this draw, and so he lost some of his fan factor.
Um, the thing that really jumps off the screen for me because I just clicked through to check was I went to the SPP to see kind of who got what, and the Kislev got 9, which is a bit meh, and then the Orcs kind of got 20. So yeah,
Uh, yeah, I,
that's interesting.
I kind of wish I had seen this game because it just from the stats it just looks like Jumping Giants did well to get this draw. Uh,
Yeah,
you got 15 armor breaks against Kislev, 6 casualties. So when that's that's a little under half of the armor breaks led to casualties.
I mean he did take 54 blocks against him, so you'd expect what, maybe 3, 4. Three
Uh,
or four
Rob,
seems reasonable.
I beg to differ. In Warhammer, Wa is a specific thing. So this is not the way of the warrior. This is the way of the people who do the Wa. It's the Wa
It looks like Wa E R.
Wa ear
Yeah,
Wa
he's
ear.
kind of
Yeah, well,
kind of playing on the Wa and then going into that warrior kind of thing.
yeah, Wa ear. Let's pronounce it that way. Yes, Rob. I will school you forever on my very limited knowledge of Warhammer from like
I,
2 decades
I
ago.
have no I have no knowledge of Warhammer, so yeah.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the damage, which is all on the Kislev side. We got two
That's
perms.
impressive.
Uh, Fortunately, it's not
Armor
on any
boss, niggle,
developed player.
Eesh. A lineman and a rookie blitzer.
Yeah, so it could have
I
been
mean,
worse, but it's still
it's
losing that
expensive.
blitzer, especially since he was really close to leveling.
How much are blitzers? I forget. I think they're like 90 to 120k. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Blitzer? I don't know.
I think I think they're like 90k.
I would think they would be among the more expensive players. Yes. Um,
Yeah, so that kind of hurts.
I mean, we can answer it relatively quickly just by looking at the. Okay, so he fired the blitzer. So we got 3 levels. That's 60. So 110 actually.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
okay.
that's a lot.
I couldn't remember if it was the low side or the high side. I kind of knew it wasn't in the middle.
That's pretty expensive. That's like a witch elf.
Yeah, it is like a witch elf.
Yeah.
That's a little bit insane, isn't it?
I think the witch elf. Well, I guess they are comparable because he instead of they're basically the same, but Agi busted AV up, and they have diving tackle instead of frenzy. So
They
by the
lost
same, I
frenzy.
mean really different because you also have leap. By the same, I mean they're really nothing at all the same. Uh, but my feeling is witch elves are more value for dollars than Kislev
I just feel
blitzers.
like the blitzer should be like 100 to, well, 90 or 100k. I just don't.
I think I
I
would
think 110 is a lot.
Yeah, I would think 90K. This, you know what? This explains. I've sometimes wondered why Kislev teams don't have
They're still
that many
blowing.
blitzers, and this explains it. Because they are really
Yeah.
good. It's just I don't know if they're 110 rookie good.
I mean, like the catches aren't cheap either, are they?
No, and even the linemen are 60K.
So
Like,
your linemen are as expensive as chaos linemen. That's kind of insane.
yeah, and Leap really doesn't make like. I guess the idea is the extra 10K over the human linemen is because of Leap and very long legs, but like I think the at least the linemen should be cheaper to balance out how expensive the other players are. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
like
fair.
Kislev is OP anyway.
No, I think it's a cool concept, like Kislev as a whole.
Yeah.
I just think all their players are like 10K more expensive than what they should be, and it's really, really punishing.
So Andy raises a really good point as a counterpoint to what we're talking about. That like the Blitzers have strength, general, and agility access.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's fair.
yes, which
I don't think they have agility access, do they?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like you look just you could tell just by looking at this team, right? Like if it's 110, which Chad confirmed, then and Dodge was a double, then the team value
Strength,
would be 180.
agility, and general. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you know
Fair.
what? Like that makes up for a lot. They're expensive to begin with, but then you can really turn them into
Yeah.
anything you want.
No, it explains how they blow it so quickly as well.
Yeah. Uh okay. No levels, I think, on the jumping giants. No. Okay, and we have Five Fingers of Death. It really like deserves the MVP here. He was clearly the star of the show with getting three casualties. But he did get the level, and so I guess stand firm or mighty blow, probably stand firm.
um, Probably mighty blow.
You think mighty blow?
There's two schools of thought, right? Like, because if you stack, I think on all teams, if you stack block guard, mighty blow, I don't think you go awfully wrong. And then you add stand firm to those that get there. Do you agree or disagree,
Mm,
or
I
where would
think
you?
you could go either way.
I just think it gives you more win conditions.
What you think mighty blow gives you more winning conditions, or that?
Yeah, yeah. I think because of the added chance to get a KO, stun, or removal, it gives you better chance.
Um,
But I
I
had
don't
this
know, but
debate.
I think I'm not sure that's entirely true. I mean, you got stand
I
firm
just think
can get a lot of work done. And
oh
it's not
yeah, it forces a lot more.
yeah, stand firm could give you the opportunities for more hits, and like you hitting more is more important than having mighty blow. Like if you the more you can get hits, the more chances you have to roll armor and roll injuries, the better
Yeah.
your results are going to be for removals.
I'm just gonna take a second, Rob. That's all down to you, mate. It ended up being that I had to I reset the Discord settings for voice, and then it picked it up properly. So who knows?
Yeah,
um,
that
but
works.
thank you, Rob. Um, Back to the mighty blow or stand firm. I don't think either one's wrong. I just
No,
think if you get stand firm, it's under the impression that it's going to take you forever to get to mighty blow.
yeah,
Whereas
I guess what I would do is a mixed strategy as they developed. Some would be block guard
I think
stand
if you go
firm.
mighty blow, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
I like
I'd
it in
do
any order.
stand firm first. I mean, but the thing is too also like as soon as you get
You could
three stand
alternate.
firm, 90% of the time you can just stop any one turn.
Yeah. No,
It's
that's fair. As yeah, stand firm first has more utility. I just think mighty blow gets you to stand firm, and then you have an extra skill there in mighty blow to kind of give you some extra.
well, it's all irrelevant
Yeah.
because he rolled a strength up.
Okay, that works too.
Hmm. Which you definitely want to take that.
Or on Black Orcs, it's so valuable, isn't it?
Yeah,
It just adds an extra thing.
yeah, for sure.
Even on the blitzers and stuff or linemen, it like strength up is so good on an orc team.
Yeah, it makes having. I mean, now he has two strengths five players, five six guard, and then another three strength four players. Like that is oh wait, and another four strength four players. Yeah, this makes the team really difficult to deal with and really helps with the control element of the orc game.
Yeah.
It kind of
No,
reminds me of like the ambiotic version of oh what's his name? He had a big playoff run a couple seasons ago with orcs. I think he's still in tier one.
oh,
Uh,
GMan. Oh, Largo.
Largo, yes, thank you. Yeah,
No
this kind of
worries.
reminds me of the beginning of Largo's team.
Um, the only thing you really want is he's kind of he's missing the palm. I think so far.
Uh, yeah. I mean,
And I think if you add some more guard in there and give yourself some the maybe one other blitzer with mighty blow tackle, I think your team starts to really look quite hard to beat.
so he had a palm who died.
I
Um,
think we looked at this during the
yeah,
pre-cap. Sorry.
yeah. So he's kind of developing Ibhumi into his killer, but started him off with guard instead of
Yeah,
my blow. But yeah, I mean, like
we
he
didn't
also
know.
like this is kind of where I say it's like the beginning of it because he does have two rookie blitzers that he can develop more into the designated killers.
You'd love to see him level those two up as well as recappers. We'd love to see him level those two up. As your division mates, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we're just week two. He has 11 games to build on this team, and it's like, I mean, it's already 1760 in terms of TV, but just a few more levels here and there, and it'll get really gross really quickly.
At 1850, this team's 100% harder to beat than what it is now.
Yeah, yeah, like
It's kind of where we're at.
yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Another five skills, and this
Yeah,
team's gonna be really tough.
discussed it.
All right, moving on to Barry and the lads who tied against. We came from outer space.
Our favorite Camry coach. um, I read some chat of this, and basically, what I took from it was Barry went off early, and Kaz some Tomb Guardians and stuff, but they all regened, and regen was really key for robbing this one to stay in it. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, when regen works, it can be just amazing. Oh yeah, six casualties. Yeah, so if you get six casualties and regen just works, then it could be really frustrating. Regen saves
Regen
two.
save too.
Okay. Um,
That's all right. Can't complain.
yeah.
Did you stamp on him though?
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm looking now at the damage done. Yeah. This
Oh,
is
that's a niggled one as well. That's dead.
yeah, this is decay really making
I hate
yourself
decay
hurt
so
here.
much. I hate decay so much. Oh, it's such a bad, like if it had it on the linemen and stuff instead of the Tomb Guardians, like Camry would be so much better. Just having decay on Tomb Guardians is like playing Russian roulette. It's horrible.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a case to be made for making regen a little better, but then giving everything that has regen decay.
If you say if you say regen works on a 3+, and then give everything that has regen decay, so that if it doesn't work, it's twice as bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Um, because honestly, I
Um,
sometimes like I know when you play a team with regen, it feels like regen never works, but when you play against a team with regen, it feels like it always works. It's one of those.
I played a regen team for a long time, and I'll tell you for free that it regened everything that I didn't want it to. So, like, regen's better than an Apo, right? That's not debatable.
Yeah,
But the problem is with an Apo, you can choose what you save, right? And you can Apo a badly hurt if it's really important. If a regen team takes a badly hurt and it doesn't regen, like you just don't get it back.
yeah.
And it's like playing around that is a skill in itself, to be honest.
Uh, Rob, that sucks.
That
That
really sucks, doesn't it? The
yeah,
ref was against you as well.
yeah.
Did
That's
you tell Lewisham that he had 12 men on the pitch with the referee?
he
It's an illegal formation. He's got an extra player, ref.
that that's a ref that I hope got a nasty visit from some skeletons in the middle of the night.
Uh, you can see the bony boys just fouling him in his bed now, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, he had a guy sent off early too. Oh,
Okay, so the ref just
this referee isn't my type of person.
yeah, he's a, if nothing else, he's an argument for not having refs.
Was this ref a freaking elf in a previous life or something?
Yeah, he maybe he was just in a bad mood or something. Had a
Go
fight
and
with his
complain to
wife.
the referee union, Rob.
Yeah.
Go and have it out with them.
Yep.
Say, did I not pay you enough? Were you not entertained?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think you should be able to sue him because you bribed him and he didn't like you had a contract and he didn't live up to his side of the contract.
He didn't even turn a blind eye to you stamping on the big dude. That's out of order, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Uh
Oh,
well maybe he's just a fan of Barry. I don't know. Let's take a there's no oh wait, there are a couple skellies that levels, but let's look at Barry and the lads. Warrior I assume block unless he rolled an
lovely.
agi up.
You got a warrior. The warrior level is so key as well.
Yeah. That make like just that block makes this whole team feel so much better.
100%.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
great level.
yeah. Barry and the lads obviously still low on guard, I think, but he's got a very different way of playing and how I would like how is generally considered optimal. I think it's more fun, but like yeah, you would never accuse it of being optimal. You didn't foul him at the end of the game because you want everybody else to suffer.
Yeah, that just sounds selfish to me, really. Shame
You
on
didn't
you,
live up
Rob.
to your end of the bargain. What?
You you had one job.
One job only.
Um, actually,
Um,
this was a yeah. You know what, Rob? Um, from the sounds of this game, congrats on getting the draw. Um, going out to Tomb Guardians and at 1.3 Tomb Guardians and still getting the draw is pretty good.
you must have been really frustrated by the end of this game, to be honest with you. To lose two Tomb Guardians is pretty horrific. And you done a great job getting a draw from that. So fair play.
So I just have no idea what you would take with these two skeleton levels. What do you
30 player.
dirty? Do you give the block dirty player? Do you give them both dirty players?
Oh, I just give both 30 player. The more DP, the better, right?
I
I'm just
suppose.
I, I'm just I'm just going off what Cam usually tells us, and he plays Camry a lot.
Yeah. Cam is our clan chief, and he uh, has one philosophy to this game, and that one philosophy is that these boots are made for kicking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna kick right over you,
Into you.
into you. Yes,
Yeah.
that's better. Thank you. I was trying. I was like coming to the end of that, and I was like, oh crap, I don't have anything for this last bit. But
I
kick
haven't
right
followed it all the
into
way
you. That
through.
that that works. I guess
Yeah, don't worry.
I guess it would have been
I'm
better
always.
to these boots are made for stomping.
Oh yeah, that works way better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Jeez.
Well, we'll workshop it and get back to you guys.
One was a double. I guess you can take guard.
Yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed if you don't take DP everywhere, but I understand.
and you know what? I I should have said you should take tackle. I'm glad you took a tackle. Um,
He could take leader. I'm joking. Take
you know what?
guard in my opinion.
Use the double for sneaky get. Then it doesn't matter if you bribe the ref or not. He just won't spot you.
You had to take tackle. Boo.
No,
Stick
I
with your team, see.
no,
More DP.
like in seriousness. I think tackle is the right call there. It just gives you like if you slip past Venom and Alien 2 is just kind of around, he can be the guy who tries to bring down the ball.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense to me, to be fair. It's a good skill choice, and I think he took guard on the other one, didn't he?
Yeah, he took guard.
Yeah, I think that was the best choice as well.
Yeah, so I
I disapprove of dirty player block, but yeah.
okay. Get off Cam. Oh, sorry. I thought you said I disapprove of not taking dirty player, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I think these are great levels. Great levels on both teams.
Yeah,
Moving on,
I think that was really good.
yeah, moving on to the next game.
The deck bonanza.
Yes, losing to the Funky Flowers. Uh,
When you do as much AV breaks as a Wood Elves, you're probably gonna lose the game. As
oh
Necro,
yeah,
aren't you?
so like
You got
not
outblocked by the Wood Elves as well.
not quite, not really double. Oh no, I was assuming the 40 blocks was from the
No, you got
Necro.
outblocked by Wood Elves. You got beaten up by Wood Elves.
Oh, that's frustrating
If,
as
if you
hell.
if you lose a punching match to Wood Elves, you're probably losing the game.
Yeah,
Which I think is fair.
yeah.
Don't forget fouling in there as well, Rob, by the way. Me, you, and tackle and fouling.
Ah man, this must
Yeah,
have been a
he got
tough game.
outpunched by Wood Elves, and then they passed on him quite a lot as well. I think 4 passes total. So you got some skill ups there as well.
Yeah, so he made the 4 passes to. I expect that at some point that there was some vanity passing going on by that thrower. Yeah, leveling that thrower. Good
Yep.
idea. I, what do you think about this? Is
Oh,
this is a topic that I don't know if we talked about. What do you think about a thrower on a wood elf team?
it depends how you're gonna play him, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I kind of had this chat with the Pro Elf Discord because we play Pro Hours in a different league, and we were talking about throwers, and there's two conventions for them, right? You can go dodge, block, and sure hands, and kind of have him as your ball carrier, or you kind of go into the full thrower mode with like accurate, safe throw, or all the throw stuff. And for the team theme kind of thing, like I don't think this is the best build in the world. I think the other one, like Blodge, Sure Hands, is better. But I think if you're gonna go into like the passing game, that you might as well build it properly and really go for it.
Yeah, I'm doing playing a wood elf team in CCL, um, just for the sake of like learning teams I never play anywhere else, and I find
Yeah.
myself throwing a lot. So I was
It,
thinking like
it,
maybe I should just pick up a thrower once I have the money.
like I think accurate safe throw is kind of a and sure hands. You could argue for sure hands being a first level
Yeah, I mean like it helps like that those ones do come. Um,
you take on a thrower, so that you can always. But there's like if you're gonna go pure thrower, you can go safe throw, accurate safe throw. I don't know which way you meant to take. You meant to take them, sorry,
I would
but you can definitely go.
I would think accurate for safe throw because accurate I think is a little bit more useful. Um,
Yeah,
like
I mean, safe throw makes an interception at like a 1 in 36. So
yeah, but I mean like a lot of teams you play against, especially like I guess it depends on the league. If you're playing against a lot of teams that don't have a lot of agi, then the interceptions become a little more iffy anyway. Like it's still
yeah,
valuable. Don't get me wrong, but it's less valuable if you're playing at like an
less
agi
likely.
2 or an agi 3 team. Uh
Rob says he left his pom wolf on the floor as well. So yeah.
oh yeah. Uh, who survives to get block unless he got another double. So I don't know. I think it doesn't matter what you roll on that werewolf. You're gonna give him block. I guess you could take. You might think, hey, if you get a strength up, you'd take that maybe. But like, if you, I still think you'd probably want to take block.
Yeah.
I would take stand firm on Honda.
Um, what is that? Blodge, guard, might blow. Yeah, that's got to be stand firm, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Uh, the werewolf I wanted to take block, but I know Rob and a couple of the other guys were really advocating for tackle, which is fair. I
No,
like
no,
block
you
because
need
it
block.
means that your wolf takes less hits
Yeah, and it makes making the hits a
safer.
lot better. Yeah, like I mean, I am a tackle advocate in this division for sure, but that's a situation where you definitely want to take block. Um,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I mean, the weight that's one SPP away from leveling up, I think you give him tackle so that you have 2 tackles.
Yeah, that's fair. That's not really standard. You go like Miley Blow, I think, but
Yeah, I think yeah, like
I'd go tackle as well.
I think you're right that usually for a right you want to go Mighty Blow first, but he already has 3 Mighty Blow on the team. It's not like there's a lack of Mighty Blow, but there is a lack of tackle. So you gotta balance the what's the optimal build for a player versus what's the optimal build for the team. And
No, I think it's right to go with tackle as well. To be honest,
well, hopefully he'll level up this week, and we'll take a look at that.
hopefully, it allows you to make more use of like the blodge firm then as well.
Spoon suggesting that safe throw is a good skill, which I agree with you with him. It is a good skill. I
Yeah,
think
you've got
accurate's
to
a
be
little
really,
better.
you got to be really wary about not relying on it. Like I wouldn't have it to rely on. I'd have it to mitigate a risk that I have to take.
Oh, you
It's
know what?
kind
He
of
sorry, I thought he meant safe throw was clutch. I misread it. Like clutch, as in
no,
like yeah, it
it's
can
like
come in
a,
really handy. But crutch,
it's
yeah,
like
I would
like a
agree with
crutch.
that too. Like it's kind of like blodge where you could be like I have blodge. I There's no problem with me potatoing. There's no tackle around. He's not gonna get me, and then yeah, he can still roll that pow. Can still
Well,
roll that six to intercept.
yeah, that like he could roll two sixes in a row or whatever. So it's like yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the risk willingly, but I think it mitigates a risk that you might have to take. Kind of like dodge. Like I don't dodge for no reason. I dodge because it's a risk kind of reward. I
Hmm.
kind of view them in the same way.
Yeah, so we've kind of already had a discussion about what the thrower should take, so we'll just get right to taking a look.
Uh, I happen to know what he rolled
Ooh,
now. So
strong arm. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's a you can sit back and look for your opportunities. That's I think you
we,
give them
we
safe throw after this for sure, though.
we were talking about it on the Pro Alf Discord, and like some are like really for strong arm and stuff, and others really dislike it. So it
I
is very much a what's your preference kind of thing. And with the way Mr. L was kind of developed it, you can see him really liking like the thrower build, and he's built it up really nicely as well.
I think it's one of those things that it's like 100% depends on how you use it.
Yeah, it
Like
depends on
it's
how
like
you
your
play.
play style, right? Like this is like
Yeah,
if you're the type of person who's really good at the long bomb plays, and
it gives you an
some
extra
elf
out.
coaches aren't, right? Like it's just not the way they play.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, the
I
most
mean like
famous long bomb coach that I know is Lord Brainlord, mostly because he has an Agi 6 strong arm one, which is hilarious.
jeez,
And he's got an Agi 6 catcher on the other end of it. It's fun to watch.
that's gross.
That really is, isn't
Yeah.
it? um,
So yeah, this team is I think shaping up really nicely.
oh,
Just get a
I
little
love
more
the winner.
development on the War Dancer with Mighty Blow, and which is not like developing War Dancers are pretty easy. So like give them a couple games, and that War Dancer is going to be
Yeah.
a treasure.
It, he's like I said it from the outset that he's my favorite to win the division. But I'd quite like you all to stomp on his team and like make that not so.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about elves is that you can have this beautifully built team, and then one bad game,
Lose
and
him.
you're
And,
just completely destroyed.
yeah.
Werewolf, Werewolf, which I don't know if I've explicitly said is my favorite name of the teams in this division, but it is my favorite name for the teams in this division.
Andy, you were a close second, believe me. Werewolf, Werewolf as a name is pretty brilliant, isn't it? uh,
Uh, so nothing's jumping out on me. Actually, I take that back. The werewolf, their wolf's got 7 casualties. against the
Uh,
Drainage Whistles.
Interestingly, like the rats caused 11 breaks to 18, so that's fairly interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and these were pretty punchy. Like the more I look at this, the more like interesting this is actually. Like the blocks weren't that far off. Like given that we're talking about Skaven, we have passing by the Necro, but no passing by the Skaven.
Skaven. No, it's Skaven you don't really want to pass, right?
Yeah, like you got
But sometimes you're forced into it.
4 removals caused by the Skaven.
You got seven removals by the Skaven, 5 KO, 2 injuries,
Oh, right,
and they
yes.
took 9.
That's not
Excuse
really
me.
something you expect. Uh,
Um, in my experience playing Skaven, like if you give away 45 blocks, you probably don't have a team to play with, and that looks like what it happened here.
for sure. Um,
And you've watched me play Skaven and had this exact scenario play out.
yeah. Um, though what
So
I think what's critical, I wonder if anyone who saw this game, how early those Skaven removals happened. My guess would be that a lot of them happened later in the game, given what the score is. Yes. Before I even said that, we had the answer where most of those came in the second half. So my sense of
how
this,
has nobody said they like your name? That's outrageous. Nobody said that they've liked Werewolf their wolf before. That's outrageous, isn't it?
is there a Mel Brooks reference? I didn't even get that. I just liked
I
the
just like saying the name.
yeah. I just like saying it. Werewolf, there, wolf. Uh, uh, you can explain
I,
the reference in the chat, I guess.
I'm upset you haven't taken your level, so I'm not going to even speculate on it.
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, that is critical information that the Skaven were at full strength in the second half. I think that goes a long way to explain the score.
yeah.
In
If
terms
they're
of
at full strength at the second half, you you wonder how the Necro managed to make it 1-1, really.
well, it depends on who kicked, right?
No, no, if you've got a full rat team going into the second half, like you can be ultra aggressive, right, and go for the turnover.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to like. I'm not gonna get into a guessing game of what happened in the game that I didn't
No,
watch.
I was just like asking your opinion of how you play it, kind of thing.
I don't know. I tried playing Skaven for a few games and I just hated it so much that I don't like it.
You left.
Yeah.
Fair.
So in terms of damage, we have movement busted ghoul who is taking an early retirement, I'm sure, and the Skaven in terms of long term got away with it without getting any massive amount of damage. You know
Is
what?
that
This is the game where I watched the first half. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I did watch the first half of this game, and I
I
can't
presume that's
remember
dead
it.
Jew as well.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my notebook. I have a terrible memory, so I usually rely on my notes for discussing games I watch. But um, yeah, I remembered both teams doing a reasonable job. Actually, I think one thing I did note about this game was that I felt that the Necro needed to be a little bit more aggressive about basing up in the first half and
Uh,
pushing through the Skaven screen, but I could be mixing it up with another game in my head, so I wouldn't like take that as
Yeah.
ultimately true. Um, yeah, and this lineman's probably getting fired. So let's look at yeah, okay, confirmed fired Ghoul.
Um, and going to the flesh golem, right? That
Yeah,
block
and
guard is really good, but like blodge firm in the long run is better.
yeah, I think yeah, I mean, like it depends on what you're trying to accomplish in the season. I think if you
I
want,
think
if you're thinking, well, this isn't my moment for a big playoff run, so I'm gonna build a little bit more because you give him like gonna take him a while to get guard on these flesh golems.
well he's got 4 points through 2 games with a win and a draw, so I think you go guard based on the fact that you're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I do like
It feels bad.
yeah, like giving up that double when it's the double gives you so much value.
Yeah, even if you don't roll a double at 31, you can just take Mighty Blow and be pretty okay with it because you're
Yeah.
stand firm, block guard, Mighty Blow.
Uh, yeah, playing it. Okay, so I was remembering that right. Playing it cool. Um, I mean, like, yeah, it's your choice, like how you want to play it, but just there's there's no better team to base up it against than Skaven. Um,
The
just
more you base up Skaven, you've got to do it in the right way because you
yeah,
don't want to give Skaven chain pushes. You don't want to give them the chance to take 3 blocks against you because that's how you'll lose. But if you base up correctly and position, so you kind of you don't want Skaven playing with a full field. That's the last thing in the world that you want to let them do. You kind of want to make them pick a side and kind of cut the other side off and just push them against the sideline and base up all the line rats and stuff, but do it in such a way where they can't blitz themselves free or chain push themselves free.
and I
Because then
think
you get more blocks versus the AV7.
there was a moment where like again, if I'm remembering this correctly, because I don't have my notes, but there was a moment where you got a sack against or blodge werewolf where like you more than anything you were just lucky that your opponent took dauntless instead of strip ball. You would have been
Oh,
in
I
a lot of
love
trouble,
triple.
I think, if that gutter runner had been built a little differently.
If it
Um,
is wrestle strip instead of just wrestle dauntless or something.
yeah,
Uh,
but like alternative universe guessing doesn't matter. Uh, you got the touchdown in the end. That's what matters.
yeah.
Uh,
What I try and take from that game is like probably a ball protection at that point. From what you said, just be slightly more
I don't think
aware about.
I don't think like he was good about ball protection. It's just like Skaven is hard to completely protect the ball against Skaven. If they want to
Yeah.
go for a sack, they pretty much can.
I
Oh
know
yeah,
that
that's
one.
right. He did skull it. Um, that was this badly hurt was that. So that was pretty unfortunate for Mongoose, dubious Mongoose.
Yeah.
Um, so what's I think in terms of the level, because I saw that you haven't taken it, if you're soliciting opinions, I say go for the dodge.
I want to. If I'm you, I want to win this season, and I'd have guard.
Yeah, like that's a good point about balancing basing up with ball protection. It's a hard balance to get exactly, but with two strength four players, I think you could have done a little more. But like if you in your head you were prioritizing ball protection, I think that is the fair enough. That is the right priority.
I think as a necro coach, you kind of go into that game going, I wanna bog down the storm vermin and the line rats, like trap the storm vermin with the flesh golems. Don't give them an easy out there, and kind of just keep basing up the line rats with zombies and stuff. And sooner or later, you'll get the advantage on them.
So Drain Weasels, their Claw Mighty Blow Blitzer leveled. I'm guessing it's either going to be Pylon or Tackle. I would like to see Tackle, but I would understand Pylon. What do you think?
Um, um, Let me just check who they had week one. Who did they have week one? Drain Weasels. I can't find it.
Hang on. They had
Scales of
Bury the
Beauty.
Lads. Oh, yeah, Bury the
They've got
Lads.
they got Scales of Beauty week 3. Um, right. Scales of Beauty is lizards, right? So you've
Yeah.
already got Claw Mighty Blow. Kind of don't want to put it on the floor, and you kind of want to hit Skink. So I think Tackle's good there. Who else would you have to face? You got the Kemri, where you can just target AV7,
I
and the
mean,
Claw Mighty Blow.
he has a lot of
Tomb Guard.
elves. Like
Wood
he
elves,
has a
dark
lot of
elves.
elves left to play. He's a lot of dodging left to do. Like
I
games with
think I'd want to
dodge.
take. Tackle. I think. I was just weighing it up in my head how many AV9 and stuff, and not and how much dodge you have to face. And with the lizards being in there, I think it's worthwhile having tackle over piling on.
Just for the lizards, I would actually take Pylon over Tackle. Like if that's the way so he did take Pylon, but if you're picking your skill based on your next opponent, I think Pylon is way better because you when you have a claw player, you're not using that claw player to chase skink, especially since you already have a skink player in the other blitzer. You're using it to beat up
Oh,
on
he's already got
zones.
Skin Hunter.
Yeah, so I mean, it's if you're thinking about it that way, then Pylon is 100% the way to go. Uh, but I think down the road he's gonna miss having not having that tackle. But Pylon I think is perfectly fair decision.
I like having the extra tackle personally. I think it gives you more options. And with what he's got coming down for the rest of his league season as well, he's got Wood Elves, Dark Elves, uh, among other things. And I just think that gives him a better chance of winning out of having more wins at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, not I agree with you, but yeah, we don't need to. I agree with you, but I don't think Pylon is wrong.
Oh, piling on's not wrong. Like, that's not what I'm saying. That's just um when I say I'd rather take tackle, it's just a preference, right? It's
Yeah.
just that's all that is. Like piling on's gonna level him up quicker so he could get tackle earlier, I suppose.
So,
Well,
face planters versus the Soda Brother. Um,
I watched your stream of this. Well,
yeah.
most of it.
Speaking of piling on, I don't think we need to pile on Spoon too much more. I think I've made
He
fun of
spoon
him
fed
enough.
him the victory.
um, but yeah, I mean, this was a game that was defined by one misplay. Spoon explained in the chat or in the Discord rather that he forgot that player was a loner, which makes it more forgivable. I think even if it wasn't a loner, you don't take that block at that moment. Like it was 100% a turn ordering issue. Um,
I missed the second half.
yeah, so he for those who didn't watch it, I guess I should explain what happened. To my eyes, it did feel like Spoon was in fairly good control. He went into the second half receiving 1-1. Um, he looked like he was taking his time and not going for the early score, which I thought made a lot of sense. He was retreating a little bit just to like get some maneuvering room, and he moved his cage and his screen back, left the ball where it was, and then took a 2D hit with Loner before he moves the ball. And uh, it turned into a 1-9, which turned into one of the easiest sacks I've seen this season. And from there, Spoon kind of struggled to get the ball off Razda. I mean, like he had a couple of shots at it that Razda could have done a better job at preventing, but it the game was pretty.
Right. From my perspective in the first half,
Oh, you were
um,
trying to switch to the other side. I don't. Yeah, it was just a pure risky play. Anyway, sorry. Go on. You know.
from what I spectated in the first half from watching Hughes stream, um, right. I don't play a lot of owls, as everybody knows, right? But what I'd have liked to see is you not allowing such a safe play, like to score in the first half. It was really easy. He was just kind of picking what he wanted to blitz and then just hitting you, and I just felt like um, to screen up more aggressively, kind of force him down the side, but make him use his blitz to go round you and stuff like that. And I think you almost played it too passively, like you let him do what he wanted to do, kind of thing. And I think that you needed to make him work for it a bit more and not make it as easy as what it was to make it that safe, because he pretty much had a double screen on the ball
See,
for most of the first half.
I read it a little differently. I saw that as a strategy to kind of invite the early score, like kind of say, okay, come on, get close to the touch zone, and then I'll put on some pressure, and then um, then you'll have to score. With the pressure, I'll either get the ball off of you, or you'll have to score at that point. And I
I
think
think you were
that's a
spot on
fair
in your commentary.
strategy. Like I mean, like
I
it
think
could have been like maybe a little bit more pressure earlier on would have been better, but I thought the strategy overall wasn't terrible.
like no, it's not like look, you play it however you want to play it. Like I think you get more opportunities at a ball if you make him use his blitz to go a specific way. Like just leave one elf there on the screen on the edge or something, so that's where his blitz has to go if he wants to move up his position. Whereas I think the way that you played it, you could just blitz whatever he wanted to, like within reason. There was like 5 or 6 different things that you could punch at different points.
Yeah, but most of those people he could punch weren't his valuable players. Like at the same time, Spoon was
I, ju-
guarding
I
his best
there
players.
was just there was just too much space for me. Like it was the entire like width of like um you know how the pitch is split up into threes where you've got the wing, the middle, and the other wing. There was just he had the whole wing. I just think that's too much space.
Yeah,
And I think you
like
were right in
it's
what you said, where when he went in for the strip ball play, like it was a good play, but because of how he positioned beforehand, he had to roll more dice to get to it, kind of thing. And then it put his strip ball all on an island on its own. and the recovery wasn't great unless you got like the 3 and 8 to go out or whatever it was. I think, but
Yeah, but I mean, like the recovery could have been better with a better scatter anyway. Yeah, thanks Rob for watching.
cheers, Rob. See you
Cheers. Yeah,
later.
you if you watch the beginning, you'll see innovation thanking you for all your help. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, let's not belabor the issue uh, anymore, and we just take a look at what the Blitzer got.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
guard.
that was that was my view on it. Like, you can feel free to just shove my issue where the sun
Oh
doesn't
no, I
shine.
mean like I just I'm not saying you're wrong or you're right. I'm just saying that for the purposes of the stream, we've kind of talked about it enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
What did they roll? And who got level ups?
the we got one level up on a human blitzer, uh, which I think guard is the either guard or tackle, given where the team is. Like his one problem that the
He
humans
has no
definitely had
tackle.
is their
Oh no, he
only
has one.
tackle was the thrower, who was is the ball carrier. So that made the first half kind of awkward for him, finding good hits against the most valuable players.
Um, it's a shame your tackle being on your thrower, isn't it? But hey,
Yeah, like guard would be great. Okay, he took tackle.
I
Like,
thought you might take tackle there.
yeah, like you really want a little bit more guard on this human team, but I think taking tackle is more important.
I've not really played humans that much, so I'm kind of relying on you.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like you 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 almost start to regret rolling the doubles and the stat ups because you start running out of blitzers to give guard, and you really need those blitzers to have guard. Like you want at least two blitzers to have guard, and he's sitting at one. I guess he's only 7 away from um, the second blitzer player number 2 leveling up, but so he could get guard. I think that's a good player to get guard, especially with Agi too.
Yeah, um, you could say stand firm as well, but yeah, guard's better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, stand firm would be great, but I think like the marginal benefit of guard is better.
Guard gives you more, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. Oh, wait, he does have this other guard in the form of this sidestepper catch.
Lodge step catcher,
Yeah,
nice.
but I think
Yep.
4 is a good amount guard either way. Um,
Yeah, it lets you do quite a lot.
uh, hey, Donkey Dragon. I think we talked about your game already. Are you
No,
watching? No.
we're just coming up to
Oh,
it.
yep. This is yeah.
It's the Dark Angels.
Uh, yeah. So, good timing on your part then. So we'll dive into this game, which um I
Neither
didn't
of us watched.
watch, and
I might have caught a little bit at some point. I don't think so though. I can't remember it, to be honest.
the stats don't really tell a story to me.
No,
Um, the results aren't that surprising. I think the Dark Elves were pretty favored in this game.
there were 56 dodges by the Dark Elves.
No levels on the Dark Elves. And oh, No SPP for the SARS. Oh wait, no, one SARS got an SPP. Okay, so that's something.
He got 2 SPP on a rookie. If he gets an MVP there, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah,
Gets him up to what?
I I really like. I mean, I'm sure like it would have been better to get it on the other rookie for sure, because then you get that extra block. But getting SPP on a rookie SARS so that you can hope for the MVP to give you block is good. So that's at least like you can feel good about getting that bit of development. You can feel
Oh, most definitely.
bad about your best skinking MVP. That just feels like such a waste.
Yeah, bloaty skink.
Yeah.
um, what do
Uh,
you give the other skink for a level?
I mean, so there's two philosophies here, right? Um, Philosophy one is you give him short, sprint, and he becomes just a super extra fast skink that can semi reliably go 11 squares in a turn. Makes for
So
a
you got
really good one turner, makes for a really good stealing the ball or running away. The second school of thought, at least, okay, there's probably more school of thoughts than this, but at least this is the way I would think about it. Um, you're already like you're playing a pretty
he's
low
already
TV lizard man, and you're kind of in it for a bit of development. It might be worth just firing the skink, getting
um
like a little
the skink was
40k
already
more of inducements. Though looking at the team, like you already have two learner skinks, so you probably don't want to do that.
hmm
Yeah, you're already okay. Yeah,
you already have
you
trophy.
already have like money that you need to spend on a new skank, so you probably don't want to do that. But it's something to consider down the road. But in the short term, I think I would give him sprint.
That's exactly what I gave him.
Yeah.
Are you upset about the lack of diving tackle?
No. Like I mean, like I think he wants to develop that skink, but I mean he he made the choice to give draw sure feet, which kind of indicates a build that diving tackle doesn't make the most amount of sense with.
Yeah,
Um, but I think if Libertas two levels, I think you give him sidestep and then you give him diving tackle after that. I would take sidestep before diving tackle uh, for two reasons. One, having sidestep just makes diving tackle that much better. And two, if you give him diving tackle as his first skill and then he rolls an agi up and it has his
feels
next
bad.
level, it just feels so bad.
No, I think I'd go sidestep. Was kind of my thinking, and then sidestep, dive, and tackle. But he already had sure feet, so I think it was always going to be sprint.
Yeah, I like the sprint sure feet build. I've done that quite a lot with my own Lisbon team. I've kind of moved away from it because I've grown to appreciate how valuable sidestep can be. I've kind of gone to the philosophy of just always taking sidestep as my first skill, no matter what else is going on. I mean, unless like I roll a double or something. But I think the sprint sure feet build has done a lot of work for me in the past, and I think it's a really good one. And not much to say about the Dark Angels of Lilith. Because they didn't have any levels. There's no perms anywhere. Skills abuse.
Nope.
Did they? Oh yeah, they still have their
Super skink.
no, their AV7 SARS.
Oh, feels bad, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just ignore what I said about like recycling the skinks. You're running into a bit of money
Recycle that.
problems here.
I forgot about the AV7 Saurus. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. That
yeah,
hurts
I
to look
forgot
at,
about that
doesn't it?
too.
The double AV bust.
It just hurts so much to look at it. I'm I'm just gonna turn away from it because it's just bringing me so much pain right now.
You're a brave man for playing that team this season. I'd have re-rolled it.
I mean, the team's fine. You need a. It takes a lizardman a little while to develop, so you gotta be a little patient. But it just sucks when that patience is not being rewarded. You got your one of your few developed stars that are now like it's not terribly useful. Like you can't protect it. You can't protect stars. Like the point of stars is that they're there to protect the skinks. So like
No, it's like an AV7 Dwarf. It's just
yeah,
not good.
yeah. Or it's like permanently playing against Claw.